This is the Martini Mortgage Podcast with Kevin Martini.
Hello and welcome to the Martini Mortgage Podcast. My name is Kevin Martini and I'm not just the host. I'm the Senior Mortgage Strategist and Branch Manager of the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. I help families create wealth all over the great state of North Carolina. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about annual percentage rate, also known as or commonly referred to as APR. Now, I have to be 100% transparent. APR is very frustrating, and it is frustrating because when one really understands it fully, they will figure out that it is very misleading. However, there is so much emphasis on it because of regulators and because people think they should use it to compare two loans. Let me share. During the Martini Mortgage Podcast, I share my opinions and my opinions only. And my opinion is that using APR to compare two loans side by side is insane. But this is my opinion. So let me help you make your own decision with understanding what annual percentage rate is, or APR. So let's dig into APR. APR was created to help a consumer decide between different types of mortgages with different rates and points and fees. Let us assume you are comparing a 4.5% rate with no points to a 4% rate with 2 points. Which one is a better option? Here is a hashtag Kevin Martini Live talking point. APR tries to help a consumer decide between different types of mortgages, fees, and points, and rates. However, in my opinion, it does not do it in a way that uses real-world scenarios and mathematics on how a loan should be compared. Let me break down APR. To fully understand it, you have to first start with amount financed. It's not your loan amount. So let us assume you are taking out a loan for $100,000. And let's assume that I am your lender and I'm going to wire $100,000 to the closing table. But for you to get this loan, you have to pay for the fees or maybe even points and interim interest. Now, don't even get me started on interim interest because interim interest is pretty tricky. And I'll break it down in a moment. And it's one of the flaws in the system, in my opinion. Amount financed is designed to be the net amount, not the loan amount. So let us do an audio example. You are getting a $100,000 mortgage. Your interest rate is 4.25 for a 30-year fix, and there are no points, but there are $800 in lender closing costs. Remember, the amount financed does not include only includes lender costs, not title or other loan-related fees outside of the lender fees. And then there's interim interest. In this example, let us assume the interim interest is $300 a month and the principal and interest is $492. Let me share this. This is not real-world example numbers. I'm using approximate numbers for illustration purposes only. So there is a $100,000 loan. We have to minus the lender fees, which are $800 in our example. And then there's the interim interest, which is $300. So the amount financed is $98,900. For those that are driving, $100,000 minus $800 minus $300 equals $98,900. Now, the $98,900 is the net amount the borrower receiving. The whole APR calculation starts with this net amount or amount financed. Now that we have the amount financed, we take the monthly payment of $492. But first, in this example, you're taking a $100,000 mortgage at a rate of 4.25 for 30 years. This is what your payment is based on. The amount you are borrowing, the rate, the term, and poof, you have your payment. This is your payment. APR is not your payment. You see, APR is going to take that $492, your principal and interest payment a month, and calculate it based on the amount financed. In this example, it's $98,900. And by doing that, you're getting a 4.35% APR. So what the APR is valiantly doing is to give you what I like to call your feel-like rate by incorporating the cost to get the loan. So far, so good? Here is where APR is not a good tool, in my opinion. Let us assume we want to come up with another example. I just shared the $100,000, but let's call that number one. Let's call this one number two. Let's assume we want to look at a $100,000 mortgage at a rate of 3.75 with 2 points and the same lender cost and the same interim cost. So we keep these examples somewhat context. Because this is a lower rate, you would have a lower payment. In fact, the payment would be $29 less since it's only going to be $463 at our 3.75 rate versus the $492 at the 4.25 rate. This loan would have an APR of 4.01 versus example 1 or option 1, which is at 4.35 in the first example. Just based on APR only, it appears the second example will be better since it has a lower APR. But is it? We know that the rate is 0.5% lower. We know we have a lower payment by $29. And we know we're paying $2,000 more for that lower rate. On APR only, the second option is best. But is it really better? In the second option, you are saving $29 a month, but paying $2,000 up front. That means the break even is about 6 years. So a simplistic way to look at this is if you are going to be in the home for more than 6 years, this is a good deal to go with option 2. But a more accurate way to look at this would be, well, let's go. If you have to take the consideration the upfront value of the $2,000. So if you took the amount you are paying to buy down the rate at that $2,000 and you put it down on the mortgage instead, the difference in payment would only be $19 a month and result in roughly a 9-year break even. So option 2 only provides a break even at roughly 9 years. So APR is lower in option 2, but the savings is not realized for 9 years. I don't even know what I'm going to have for lunch 9 hours from now. You see, with all my heart, getting a mortgage is a big thing. And an app on a phone will not be able to give you a trusted real-world advice that you need to make an educated decision. When you want to buy a home, you should always be home first, loan second. It doesn't matter if it's your first home or your 15th. It should always be loan first and home second. You should always have the home first conversation with a local experienced mortgage strategist. That mortgage strategist should have an understanding of your short and long-term goals, because a mortgage is a financial instrument just like a stock or a bond that you have in your portfolio, and it should be properly managed after closing. I believe that APR can be misleading, and it points many consumers in the wrong option. Another flaw to APR is that it assumes that you're going to have the loan for the entire term. I've been in the financial services since the late 80s, and there's not many people I have seen that have been in a loan for a full term. Now, I mentioned interim interest. You see, when you close your loan, you own the day of closing, and you pay the interest in the day you close to the end of the month. Interim interest is not a long-term cost. It is cleared up by the next first month. Because of this, some lenders, not all lenders, can manipulate the APR based on the day of the month you close. In closing, no pun intended, it should always be loan first, then home second. You should research and decide on your lender before you are under contract. And always remember that APR has flaws and it can be manipulated. A true mortgage strategist can provide more accurate comparisons of costs versus savings and take into consideration the value of money. If you are looking for an experienced and trusted mortgage strategist in Raleigh, North Carolina, or anywhere in North Carolina, I invite you to give me a call. Again, my name is Kevin Martini, and my number is 919-238-4934. Thank you for tuning in to the Martini Mortgage Podcast. And remember, it does not matter how big the house is. All that matters is how happy the home is. Cheers.
The Martini Mortgage Group makes real estate dreams a reality with trusted advice in a stress-free environment with great rates and on-time closings while providing a world-class experience. If you or someone you know has questions about the current mortgage rates or the current mortgage programs, please reach out to the Martini Mortgage Group at 919-238-4934. The information contained in this podcast presentation is for general product information purposes only. Arklatex Financial Services, LLC, NMLS number 2143, doing business as Benchmark Mortgage, makes no representations or warranties of any kind expressed or implied about the completeness, reliability, suitability, or availability with respect to the information, products, or services. All loans subject to borrower qualifying. Other restrictions may apply. Branch Manager Kevin Martini, NMLS number 143962. Branch located at 5650 Six Forks Road, Suite 101, Raleigh, North Carolina 27609. Contact the branch by calling 919-238-4934. Equal housing opportunity.